Well, before we let you go, let's shift focus to some banking updates for the fourth quarter, beginning with HDFC Bank. Over to you.
Talk about HDFC Bank. When we look at the numbers, we saw a good set of numbers from HDFC Bank. When we talk about loan book growth, we saw a good growth of around 4% on a sequential basis, and on a YOY basis, it had increased almost by 5%. Now, let's not forget that HDFC Bank has said that they will be matching the loan book growth of system in FY26, and it seems that HDFC Bank is right on its pace when it comes to Q4 numbers. When we talk about deposit, there also we saw a healthy set of numbers, increase of around 14% on a year-on-year basis, and this is not just it. When we talk about in terms of the CASA, actually, CASA also has increased. CASA ratio has increased almost by 80 basis points for HDFC Bank. And let's also not forget that when we talk about the loan book growth, retail loan was something that aided the growth for loan book. It increased almost by 9% on a year-on-year basis. Corporate loan book growth actually declined, but on the other hand, when we talk about commercial and rural banking, there we saw a growth of around 12% for the bank. So definitely a very good set of number in terms of pre-quarterly updates from HDFC Bank. But apart from that, there are some other banks which will be in focus. So first, let's talk about Bandhan Bank. Inline set of numbers is what we saw, because deposits increased almost by 12% while advances increased almost by 11% on a YOY basis. Let's not forget that this bank is going to be in focus on the back of the MFI exposure, how the numbers are going to be. RBL Bank, on the other hand, came up with weak set of numbers, because when we look at loan book growth, that increased almost by 10%. It is actually lower if we consider the trend of the bank. And when we talk about deposits also, we saw a very weak set of numbers of around 7.2%. Again, there are concerns around the MFI book, so definitely this bank is also going to be in focus, not just on the back of the numbers, but also on the back of how the MFI numbers will be reported when they come up with the actual results. Other than that, UCO Bank came up with very strong set of numbers. In fact, when we look at total deposit growth, that increased almost by 20%, and total loan book growth was also high at around 17%. Both these numbers were actually higher than the guided range from the bank. And lastly, let's also focus on Yes Bank, because when we talk about deposits, we saw a good set of numbers, but in terms of advances, we saw a growth of only around 8%, which was actually lower than street's expectation. So a mixed set of number is what we are seeing from Yes Bank. So definitely on the back of the Q3 updates, we will be watching out on these banks in the day-to-day.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gaurav, for getting us an update as far as the banks are concerned. So not just HDFC Bank, UCO Bank as well as Yes Bank will also be in focus. So watch out for.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.